Right, so custom components. How can we use custom components? This one works just like React for web. Same idea. I'm going to go right here to the root directory. I'm going to create a new folder. It's going to be called src for source, and then a new folder. And what I want to do, I want to create a navigation bar right here at the top. So I'm going to go to nav. I'm going to go to new file and create a nav.js. So again, this one, it's the same thing we are doing right here. So I'm going to copy this one from here. I'm going to paste it, and this one is going to be a stateless component. So I will remove the component and say const nav equals to a fat arrow function that instead of doing a return, we are just going to return a component. And what we will be returning is just a view. Let me make it right. View. And of course, we need to close view. Very good. So right here, we'll put some dump text. So my app. This could be the name of the app. Doesn't matter right now. And then of course, we need to export to make this component available from other components. So we say nav. Right. So everything is ready. This component is ready to be called from within other components. So I will go right here, and I'm going to say import then nav, and this one works just like React from web, from ./src/nav/ and nav. Now, if I want to include this component, I just make a reference to it, and that is it. So if I reload the application, it's going to say my app. And notice that we are using flex end and flex start right here. So this one, I'm going to change it to center. And the margin top is going to be 20. And I'm going to delete this because we are not really using it. Okay. So I'm going to save it and then reload the application, and we get, the header. Of course, we need to add some stylings to this. So I'm going to go back to nav, and I could, add the inline styling right here, but I don't really want to do that. I'm going to say style, open and close. Now we need to use the style sheet create just like we are doing right here. So again, I'm going to copy this one from here so I don't have to type a lot, and we can spare some time, and I'm going to delete this. So I will need to add the styles for the nav. So what I want to do, I want for the style to have a background color. So we say background and then color, and this one is going to be, maybe not red, maybe something EA. Good. So of course, since this is an object, we need to put comma, and I want to align the items to the center. So I'm going to say align items and then center. There we go, center. Now I want to give a padding. So I'm going to say padding, and this one is just like CSS, padding. And we don't use pixels because it's going to add a 10. And I want this to be a width of, and then 100%. Now what you could do, instead of using this like a percentage, you can use 200, and it will work just like the padding. It's going to use 200 units. So in this case, I want for the nav to occupy the whole width. So I'm going to reload the application. Oh, and we get an error message. So this is because I made a mistake. Padding, align items, background color, and it's because I'm saying styling and I'm not passing anything. So I'm going to say styles.nav, and I'm going to reload the application again, and this one will work. Very good. So now what happens if I want to add a border? So I'm going to say comma, and I'm going to say border, and this one will not work just like CSS. We cannot do 1 pixel solid, then gray. We cannot do it this way. First, what we will need to do is to specify the border width. So I want to add a border just to the bottom of the nav. So I will say border, and then I need to specify which border. It's bottom, and then the width, just like this. And this one is going to be, 2 units. And same thing for the color. If I want the border bottom and then color, I need to pass a color. And it's going to be, pretty much the same thing, but not red. I don't want to use red the whole time. So we reload the application and we get, a nice border. If you want to add a border to the whole view, to the whole element, you just need to remove the bottom, for example, and it will add a border to all the sides. Let me do red so we can actually see it. So we got a border. That's good. So let me go back to the previous state. Okay, so that is good. So now, of course, what happens if we want to use a state? What I want to do, I want to add an element right here. Let me reload it for Android, so we get pretty much the same thing. So we will get to this problem. We have a fix for this. For example, in iOS, we need to add the border, so we can skip this part, but in Android, it's not the same thing. If we add the border, you're gonna have this problem. But don't worry, we will get to know how to, pass some styles for Android only and iOS only. Don't worry. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to add an element, I want to do something, and I want to pass some props. Instead of my app, I want to pass the name of the app from within our main component, which is app.js. And for that, we could use a state. So this one, again, works just like standard React. I'm going to say state equals to, and I'm going to say name of app. So the name of this one is going to be my awesome app. Right. So now I want to grab the state of name of app and pass it to the as props to the nav component. How can we do this? Okay, so what we can do, we can pass right here, name of app. You can call this whatever you want, doesn't matter. And this one is going to be equal to this dot state dot and then just name of app. And this component is going to be receiving the props that we are passing, just like we do with standard React. So instead of my app, I'm going to say props. I'm going to make a reference to props and then say name of app. So let me copy and name of app. And if I reload the application, we get my awesome app. So again, the state and passing props. Again, same thing, just like the standard React. Right, so since we are building an application, most of the times the user will do something on the screen and we want to listen for this action. So I'm going to create a new component to listen for this action. I want to add a button, and every time we press on it, we're going to get a random number. And then, of course, we're going to show it on the screen on a list. That's what we're going to be doing. So first, we need a component to display a button, a lookalike right here. So I'm going to go to source and create a new folder, and I'm going to call it generator because we are going to generate numbers. And right here, generate.js. You can call this whatever you want, doesn't matter. And again, to spare time, I'm going to copy right here and paste it. So this one is going to be just a stateless component. So const generate, just like this, and open and close, and then we will be returning some JSX. So open and close. So this one is going to be returning a view, and on the view we're going to have a text, and the text will say add number. Of course, we will need to add some stylings. So I'm going to go back to nav, copy the style sheet. We're going to do a lot of this because this course is going to be a little bit long. We're going to do a lot of things, so we need to spare the time. So the class is going to be generate, or the reference because it's not really a class, and I'm going to be passing style equal, and then styles dot and generate. So this one is going to be padding of 10. That's good. I'm going to be aligning, so I'm going to say align items and then center. And what else? Background, and then color, and I'm going to be adding a nice color. So let's say 00BCD4. Okay. So then I'm going to be adding a width, and the width is going to be 100%. Right. Everything is cool. So now we need to export this component so we can include it from the app component. So it's export default, and then of course the name of the component, which in this case is generate. So okay, everything's cool. I'm gonna reload the application and we get no errors, so that is cool. So I'm gonna import it right here from the main component. So I'm gonna say import, then generate from /src /generator, and then generate. And of course, I'm going to include it right here. And of course, we will do more things and pass some props and everything else. But first, we need the button. So I'm going to reload the application and we get the add number. So this is good. I could, add some margin to this. So let me say margin top and then 20. That's good. 20. Oh, letter O. So reload the application and not really working. Let me see why. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm inside the the nab. Sorry for that. I'm gonna go to generate and then add the margin top. Talking and doing not so easy. So every time we touch on this, I'm clicking it or we touch it on the real device, it will generate a number and add it right here on a list, like a to-do list. I hate to-do lists, but in this case, it's the perfect example. So we can add a number and we get a random number. So we need to create that, but first we need to listen for whenever the user is going to be touching this. So let's go to the next section and talk about touch events.